Dan the Natural Man Show. Hello everybody. So, the first tip for today is if you have a heat pump and your rooms aren't as cool as you want them to be, I recommend getting some box fans, putting them in front of your cooling vents. Makes a world of difference. And that was the first tip for today. And I'm telling you, it probably makes 5 to 10 degree difference in each room for me, for this house, because it's really hot right now. We're in the south. It's like really hot, and the heat pump can't keep up. You'll set the heat pump on 75, but it'll still be 78 in the house, so turn on some fans in front of the vents. Okay, so now I want to talk about the big three. Okay, let's talk about the big three. The big three really is really big in the powerlifting community. You know, you have your bench press, your deadlift, and your squat. And so a lot of people use these and they work really good. You know, bench press will really make you stronger, really thicken up your upper body. The squat will really thicken your legs, and the deadlift will make you really strong, especially if you lift things off the floor. It makes your back stronger. It's a good lift. Now, I'm not a power lifter. I've never been a power lifter. I'm more of a, I don't know, I've always loved to lift weights to keep myself healthy and mobile and as strong as possible within the confines of staying as healthy as possible. So I've always been the type of guy, I want to be strong, but also want to be fit. I want to be able to ride my bicycle. I want to be able to respond in case I have some danger, I have to run and help somebody, or you want to get what I mean, hybrid, more of a hybrid approach. So I do deadlifts, but I do the trap bar deadlift. In my opinion, if you're not going to be a competitive powerlifter, you don't have to do the straight bar deadlift. If the straight bar deadlift bothers you, you can do the trap bar. The trap bar is a really good lift. It's a really good lift for deadlifts. A good bar for deadlifts is also a good way to squat and build your legs if putting a bar on your back hurts. Also, I don't squat with a straight bar either. I'm not a powerlifter again. I squat with a safety squat bar. I do Zercher squats, I do dumbbell squats, I do goblet squats, I do sandbag squats, and I do split squats. But the point of this video is you need to have some type of compound movement in your routine. But the problem I see with some guys is they think that they just do a compound movement, it covers everything. For example, they just do bench press, flat bench for their upper body. They think that's all they need to do. Or they do a back squat for legs, and they think that's all they need to do, and a deadlift, and they think that's all they need to do. Now, if you're short on time, sure, you want to get your compound lift in, but as we get older, and you need to do this when you're young too, because I try to teach that if you're young now, you want to start lifting in a way that you can lift when you're old and stay healthy. I mean, I'm Dan the Natural Man. I'm all about longevity and health. That's why we do this, longevity and health. We can stick around. We can be old but still be useful and healthy. We can still get around. So in addition to your compound movements, and the compound movements, they can vary. They can be variations. For example, you got your flat bench press with a barbell, your flat bench press with dumbbells, with Swiss bars. You can do your incline bench with barbell, your incline dumbbell press, your incline press with a Swiss bar. I think there's even other bars now, what the bamboo bars. You get the point. You can do push-ups. You can do push-ups with bands. You can do push-up with chains. You can do push-ups with your feet on a bench. There's all types of upper body movements that we can rotate, but you have to remember when it comes to the compound lift, you want to keep that compound lift in there for a while. For me, I bench every week. I vary the load every week, and I never get any problems from it. But I think you need to stick to a compound movement at least 3 months to really get good at it. If you're new, maybe more. But then you go to your accessory work. Accessory work, you do your compound lift, then we go to accessory work. That's where you're going to do more of your bodybuilding work and work on your weak points like your rotator cuff, and your posture muscles. I've seen a lot of guys that bench exclusively. They don't do any back work and they're hunched over. So the point of the video is keep your compound lifts in there, but you got to do accessory work. So accessory work, upper body. We're going to do some kind of tricep work. We're going to do shoulder work, lateral raise, rear delt raise, front raise. You want to work all heads of the delt. We can do things with a rotator cuff. What do they call it? Get a band, come up here, rotate. Internal and external rotation. So here and here. We want to do those. Lower back. It's good to do 45-degree back extensions. Those are excellent. If you have access, you do glute ham raises. You can do good mornings. You can do stiff leg deadlifts. You can do 45-degree extension isometric holds. If you can't do a full 45-degree back raise right now, you could do an isometric hold where you just hold the top and work your time up every week. For the lower body, for the legs, we want to do squats. We can do accessories like leg presses, hack squats, Bulgarian split squats, rear foot lunges. You can do lunges. You can do lateral lunges. You can do hip thrusts on the floor. You need to find a way to fit all these in, not all at once, but your accessory lifts can rotate too. They can rotate, you know, like every few weeks or however you want to do it, okay? But the whole point of the video is don't think that you can just do bench press, squat, and deadlifts and that will cover your whole physique. You'll be good forever. You need to try to get every muscle in your body strong. You want to also focus on your abdominal muscles. You can do, what are these? These are real tough. You put your elbows in here, you raise your knees to your chest. Those will really work your abdominals really well. You want to make sure your abdominals are strong and your lower back muscles are strong. I know they call it the core, but if you can get this strong and the lower back strong, you're going to have a really good life. Your odds of getting hurt are going to be a lot lower. Your physical abilities in daily life are going to be so great. You're going to be able to do a lot of things that other people your age can't do. Because remember, longevity, you know, I talk about the diet, I talk about the herbs, but the strength training, I'm telling you, is probably the #1 thing to maintain muscle and build muscle. They're showing now, there's so much science behind it. It will keep you younger, longer, keep you independent, keep your blood sugar in check, help your blood pressure. There's a new study the other day. It showed people that had dense upper body muscle with low fat in the body. You know, they had a 30% less risk of dying from any cause. It protected their risk of heart attack by 30%. And this is just from having lean, dense muscle in the upper body. We're not going to talk about legs. There's other studies showing that strong legs also increase your longevity, your lifespan, you know, decrease your risk of heart disease. All these things, when you combine that with a healthy diet that's really rich in plant foods, and you take targeted herbs, and you know, you de-stress and you try to be grateful and you get your sleep, man, you can be healthy for a long, long time. You know, in our country of America, you see people getting sick and old in their 50s and 60s. It doesn't have to be this way. In other countries where they take very care of themselves, they live a more natural lifestyle, some of these people in their 80s and 90s and still thriving, you know. So don't fool yourself and think you can just do the big three, that's all you ever need. You need to do your accessory work, you need to do your bodybuilding work. Your muscle hypertrophy is very important. You want your muscles to grow and get stronger. At the same time, your workouts are also going to strengthen your tendons and your ligaments, which is your real strength, is your tendons and your ligaments. So I hope this video has made some sort of sense. I mean, it's just add your accessory work in. That's as simple as it is. And don't forget to do cardio. You know, cardio at least 3 times a week, whatever you want to do. So that's the video for today. If you got any questions, you know, ask them below. You know, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate it. I love helping people get fit and healthy and strong and have better longevity. If you like the video, like and share it. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out my page, DadInternationalMan.com. And remember, until next time, keep it natural.